Now at 9, with elections coming up, we'll look at the deadlines to register to vote in your state. Plus, some tips on making sure your pets stay cool during the intense heat, and tips on how to properly dispose of fireworks after they've been set off.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Dow Quick. Pittsburgh police arrest 2 of 4 suspects in an alleged robbery and battery case. On Saturday, officers responded to a call about a man trying to enter someone's house. When they arrived, they found an injured man who said he had been attacked by 4 men, one of whom had a gun. Later, police pulled over a pickup matching a description from the victim and found 3 men inside. 1 ran away, 2 were arrested. Official charges have not yet been filed. The victim is said to be in stable condition at the hospital. It was a deadly holiday weekend on southwest Missouri roads. The Missouri Highway Patrol reports 6 traffic fatalities statewide in the counting period between 6 p.m. Friday and midnight last night. And half of those were in our area. In 3 separate accidents we previously reported, 1 man died in a motorcycle crash in Barton County. Another died in a motorcycle crash in Seneca, Missouri, and a man died near Diamond in a UTV crash. Statewide, the patrol worked 107 traffic injuries. Southwest Missouri has reported its first case of monkeypox. Officials with the Springfield Greene County Health Department say a Greene County resident tested positive for the virus. They say monkeypox spreads through prolonged and close contact. Symptoms for the virus can range from a blistering rash on various parts of the body, fever, headache, swollen lymph nodes. Authorities say this is the 3rd case of monkeypox reported in the state of Missouri. The deadlines to register to vote for upcoming elections are nearing. Folks in Missouri are just about out of time. The deadline for the August 2nd primary in the Show Me State is tomorrow. To register to vote in Missouri, you must be 17 and a half years old or older, a U.S. citizen, and a resident of Missouri.
So if somebody wants to register, you have tomorrow is the last day for you to do that. So you can come by our office here in Carthage, or you can go to the Courts Building in Joplin, room 200, and we'll be more than happy to get you registered to vote for August.
Missouri is the only state voting soon. For the August 2nd primary in Kansas, the deadline to register is July 12th. Oklahomans will also vote on the 2nd. They need to register by Friday. And in Arkansas, the deadline is July 10th for an election on August 9th. Be sure to download the KOAM News app for all your election needs. You can also go to our website for election information at koamnewsnow.com/elections. The website will include resources for all of the 4 state areas, such as polling places, deadlines, dates. You can even check to see if you're registered to vote. Again, that's koamnewsnow.com/elections. Well, we expected it to be hot out there, and Doug Hetty, it's hot out there.
Yeah, another super hot day once again, plus the humidity has been on the high side. Nice shot of the sunset, so it looks pretty good, but boy, we got up there. 101 was our official high, 77. Normal high is 90. Record not that far off, only 4 degrees off the record high. Excessive heat warnings continue. We'll have heat advisories again in Oklahoma, also on the Kansas side. But overall, we look pretty good. We have clear skies. Any rain, you have to track well to the north before you find it rolling into the area. But look at our temps, still sitting into the upper 80s right now. What about the rest of the week? We'll look at that here in just a bit.
See you then. It's important to keep our furry friends safe during this intense heat. Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital has some tips on how to keep pets cool. One is to remember their hydration. Giving them fresh, cold water helps hydrate them well and, of course, cool them off.
Yeah, fresh water. Fresh, cold water every single, maybe twice a day, because it gets hot and evaporates. They don't mind drinking warm water. It will still hydrate them as well, but nice cool water will sure be nice. And not packed with ice, but maybe a couple ice cubes thrown in there every once in a while to cool it down.
Dr. Dudek recommends buying paw boots and removing some fur to help protect the pets. Some kids in Joplin spent the day hanging out at the library. Outside of it, Joplin Public Library hosted their summertime play date. Children from Ages 2 to 5 played outside for some hands-on learning. The program featured activities using water, sand, and chalk. Children also saw the newest story walkbook, Baby Beluga.
It's really just an opportunity to take advantage of our great outdoor space, kind of play, just engage in unstructured play.
If you want to find more events the library is hosting, you can visit our website at koamnewsnow.com. With the 4th of July behind us now, many of us, of course, set off fireworks and might not have disposed of the leftovers correctly. Properly disposing of fireworks is important for the environment and the safety of all of us. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
Everybody loves watching fireworks light up the night sky. However, not everybody knows how to properly dispose of fireworks.
Our best advice is to soak it in a bucket of water overnight, preferably. Once you get it good, wet, saturated, put it inside a plastic bag, double bag it, tie it real tight so that the material doesn't dry out. And then from that point, you can dispose of it with your normal household garbage.
If you're used to fireworks, be cautious. Even fireworks that you think are spent can still carry a fuse.
There have been instances that fire departments had to respond to of house fires where they've taken expended fireworks, put them in a trash can, put them in a garage. They go to bed and then they wake up and their garage is on fire. So it is possible.
Storing fireworks in your home is still dangerous. Fireworks are small explosives.
So my recommendation is don't store them. You're better off setting them off. And if you're not going to set them off, soak them in a bucket of water like I talked about.
The fire department is well trained to handle any firework mishap you may have.
We're not in the business of citing people. We're not in the business of causing people trouble. So if you have any type of mishap, call 911 immediately.
In Pittsburgh, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Officials say the weather can also play a role in fireworks getting out of hand. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time now to honor another four-state hero. Jim Mcconnell served in the U.S. Army in 1968 and 69. The Columbus, Kansas native was stationed in Vietnam, and we salute Captain Jim Mcconnell, a four-state hero. Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast, and later charges are filed against the man who allegedly shot and killed 7 people at an Illinois 4th of July parade.
Another super hot one for us today. Temperatures once again right around triple digits. In fact, official high 101 degrees. Excessive heat warning continues. Kansas and Missouri all the way through the week into Friday. Our southern counties, Oklahoma and Arkansas, they reissue the heat advisory every morning, so that's why it's not popping up on the map. But the entire region under some kind of heat advisory. And look at our temps. It was about 100 yesterday. Hit 101 for us today, a good 10 degrees above where we should be for this time of the year. And it's still hot. It's 91 Neodesha, 85 Miami, Pitt 87, 87 in Neosho, Stockton, much of the same. And our dew points are up there. This measures the amount of humidity in the air. When you pop into the 70s in the summer, usually not good. It puts us in that muggy to soupy range, and that's where we are going to sit over the next few days. In fact, heat indices still hanging on to the mid-90s outside. Nice shot, sunset, but it's still 89. South winds at about 10, humidity relative at 55%. Nothing going on here, nothing going on across Central Plains. You actually have to track north before you find any showers and thunderstorms in Nebraska, parts of Iowa. Not heading toward us. You can see just a big hole of nothing right through the Central Plains due to this big dome of high pressure. Until it breaks down, we don't get much action, and we stay hot and humid. So let's go through time through the overnight hours tonight. Upper 70s to near 80 degrees. We warm up quickly through the 80s, mid 90s by noon, and I think most of us will top out probably a degree or two hotter than what we saw today. We're going to shoot for 102, 97 by noon, 102. Extremely slight chance there could be an isolated evening storm, maybe a couple pop-up storms tomorrow night, which we could use, backing down near 80 again. Thursday afternoon, here we go again, back into the lower triple digits. And again, those heat indices are going to be high, pushing 110 by the time we head into tomorrow afternoon, pushing 110 by the time we head into Thursday afternoon. In fact, Friday will be near 100 degrees. Here's the change. Cold front slides in late Friday, may get a few scattered thunderstorms. We get a northerly wind Saturday. This means lower humidity and cooler temperatures. Still hot, but cooler as we go into low 90s for highs. Southerly winds return by Sunday, and here comes the extreme heat moving back in. 102 tomorrow, 103 Thursday, 103 on Friday. Hit miss storms, mainly miss. 93 Saturday, 100 on Sunday, and a high temp of 103 by next Monday.
And a cool, refreshing high of only 93 on Saturday.
Psychologically, it looks better.
It is better by
Yeah.
about 10 degrees.
So.
Thanks, Doug. The new antenna is now at the top of our tower. For now, we are continuing to broadcast from a temporary antenna lower on the tower as we're transitioning to a new, more powerful transmitter. Our signal kind of glitchy for some of you for the time being, but when the project is finished, we're going to be broadcasting with more power than ever. Stay with us and check out the progress anytime on our website, koamnewsnow.com/power. Coming up, new details on the investigation into yesterday's shooting at a 4th of July parade.
We're learning more about the events leading up to Monday's deadly parade shooting. I'm Mallory Rivera in Highland Park, Illinois, with details coming up.
We're now learning a 7th person has died following yesterday's mass shooting at a July 4th parade. Investigators are piecing together a timeline of what led to that tragedy. Reporter Madeline Rivera has more.
We're asking the community to, if they're able to dig a little deeper and recall some specific instances from the event.
Illinois authorities believe the gunman who opened fire on a July 4th parade in Highland Park pre-planned the attack for weeks. 21-year-old Robert Cremo is accused of firing more than 70 rounds from the roof of a business. Police say he used an AR-15 style gun that appears to have been bought legally.
Cremo was dressed in women's clothing. Following the attack, Cremo exited the roof. He dropped his rifle and he blended in with the crowd and he escaped.
Cremo was taken into custody hours after the shooting. Today, parade goers returned to the scene to collect their belongings. Sue Smith was with her daughter and a friend when they heard what sounded like fireworks.
My youngest daughter was saying to me, "Mommy, I don't want to die," as I was holding her friend's back of her head. And I'm like, "It's okay, honey. It's all right. Let's just keep running."
We're also learning about the victims of yesterday's tragedy, including 76-year-old Nicholas Toledo. The grandfather and father of 8 was visiting his family from Mexico. Jackie Sundheim, a member of the North Shore Congregation Israel, was also killed in the shooting. Those who survived say they want to help the families grieve.
I want to make sure this doesn't happen again and how I can help my local community, because there's going to be a lot of children.
Investigators are now combing through the suspect's social media to try and determine a motive. In Highland Park, Illinois, Mallory Rivera, Fox News.
Cremo today was charged with 7 counts of murder. Still ahead, growing fears of a recession.
A new poll shows more bad news for President Biden as Americans remain angry over the state of the economy. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington. I'll have more on this story coming up.
A federal judge has ruled in favor of 3 major U.S. drug distributors in a $2.5 billion lawsuit that accused them of causing an opioid health crisis in one West Virginia county. The suit said AmerisourceBergen Drug, Cardinal Health, and McKesson distributed tens of millions of pills in Cabell County over 8 years. In his 184-page ruling, the judge wrote that opioid cases must be decided not based on sympathy, quote, but on the facts and the law. U.S. breakfast food giant Kellogg's lost a legal battle in Britain. Kellogg tried to block new anti-obesity measures, banning the promotion of sugary cereals. The rules are set to take effect in October. A high court judge rejected the company's argument that the regulations don't consider the nutritional value of milk added to the cereal. Americans are still dealing with higher prices just about everywhere they shop, and there seems to be very little relief. That pain is showing in the president's approval rating. He says his administration is doing all it can to help consumers, and he'll have more to say on how he's dealing with the economy tomorrow in Cleveland. Reporter Lauren Blanchard is in Washington with more.
President Biden is calling on oil companies and gas station owners to lower their prices, as simple errands like filling up the car or getting groceries are much more expensive.
The president is clearly not in control of the economic facts here.
Consumers should not be the first to pay and the last to benefit.
Inflation rates remain at 40-year highs, and the economy shows little improvement when the average American checks their bank account.
Be sure you have enough cash set aside to get through a few years no matter what.
A new Monmouth University poll found that nearly half of those asked said inflation and gas prices are the biggest concerns for their families.
Gas prices now, it costs more than milk. You know, milk is $3.99 almost. If it goes up anymore, it's going to be a problem.
On the president's handling of his job, Monmouth found 58% say they disapprove.
Our economy is growing, but not without pain. I know it can be exhausting and unsettling, but tonight, I want you to know we're going to get through all of this.
Gas prices on average are at $4.80 nationally for a gallon of regular. Economists are warning, although they have come down from $5 a gallon, the high prices are here for the foreseeable future.
Certainly through this summer and probably through the rest of 2022.
Wednesday, President Biden is headed to Cleveland. His focus will be the economy. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Up next, going to learn why scientists are excited about this water lily in London's Royal Botanic Gardens.
Joplin area.
Syria's heavy-duty water lily in the Royal Botanic Gardens in London is discovered to be part of a completely different species. The Victoria boliviana is the biggest known water lily species in the world. Its leaves can grow to close to 10 feet wide, can support nearly 180 pounds. According to the senior author of a study published in the journal Frontiers in Plant Science, having this new data on the Victoria and finding out this new species is important in protecting it. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Joplin Chamber of Commerce gives its quarterly update to the City Council. Plus,
an American athlete detained in Russia makes a personal plea to President Biden. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington. I'll have the latest on Brittany Greiner coming up.
the Joplin Chamber of Commerce tonight presented its quarterly update to the City Council. The unemployment rate in the Joplin Metro is 3.4%. Job growth has seen a 2.8% increase since the start of the pandemic. Council tonight also outlined plans for funds from the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA. Joplin is receiving $13 million that must be used by the end of 2026. The council is considering 4 projects. 3 would be stormwater projects. 1 focuses on wastewater. Missouri is changing its teaching requirements to combat the teaching shortage. This new change even applies to substitutes who schools are struggling to find. Reporter Lauren Schwenker spoke with a superintendent in Mountain Grove and the Missouri National Education Association about the change of requirements and has this story.
Schools across Missouri are looking for teachers and substitutes, and new changes from the Missouri Department of Education are designed to help a growing shortage.
Retirement requirements for retired teachers, they've lifted the hours that they can substitute teach. So now a retired teacher can basically substitute all they want.
That's Superintendent Jim Dickey of Mountain Grove Schools. He says the district is excited about the change.
There is the ability now for a substitute teacher to receive that certification through an online training that they can do through DESE's website. Instead of, if they don't have 60 college hours, they can do this. It's a 20-hour training online. That's a great tool that is available to us now.
Now, people looking to teach who score just below a passing grade can still get their license if they've managed to complete other requirements, such as maintaining a 3.0 GPA in their college work and supervised student teaching, according to DESE. Laura Mullins, the president of the Missouri National Education Association, voiced her concerns about the changes.
There are plenty of people that met the old requirements
that if they had better pay, if they had more professional rights, if they had more admin support, I think that that is really what is making the difference.
Mullins also says she has concerns for the retention rate of substitutes or teachers staying for the long haul.
We want the best for kids when we're gone. I know as a teacher, when I'm gone, it's really hard to prepare, quality plans for learning when, they might be coming in, never been in a classroom, never had experience with classroom management. I think everybody loses when we lower the expectation.
School leaders in Mountain Grove believe the changes will bring more substitute teachers to the district. Some Missouri water and wastewater customers could see a rate increase. Missouri America Water submitted a rate request to the Missouri Public Service Commission to review for one. If the request is approved, the bill for a typical volumetric customer, where it's measured by volume, using an average of 4,200 gallons of water monthly, would increase by about $12 to $13 a month. The bill for volumetric wastewater customers would stay about the same, where for flat rate wastewater customers, it would increase by about $3 to $10 per month. The review is expected to take about 11 months. The coronavirus was the leading cause of death for people between the ages of 45 and 54 last year. That's according to a new study published in JAMA Internal Medicine. Researchers looked at death certificates from the CDC, and they also found for 2020 and 2021, COVID-19 was the third leading cause of death overall. Cancer and heart disease were the top two causes of death overall the past 2 years. Around the world, more than 260 million people suffer from asthma, and their numbers keep growing. Researchers in Australia have discovered a new way to diagnose the most serious and potentially deadly cases. By analyzing urine samples, they identified biochemical changes that occur in the lungs. They hope the finding will lead to new treatments for severe asthma, which can't be controlled by existing medications. WNBA star Brittany Greiner remains in a Russian prison. In a desperate 4th of July note to the president, she asked him to help her and other Americans detained overseas to return home. Reporter Lauren Blanchard is in Washington with the latest on that story.
While Americans celebrated their freedom, detained American WNBA star Brittany Greiner sent a handwritten note to President Biden asking for help to get out of a Russian prison. Her family shared some of what she wrote, quote, "I'm terrified I might be here forever, and I realize you are dealing with so much, but please don't forget about me and the other American detainees. Please do all you can to bring us home." The White House says they are.
The United States government is very, very focused on her case, as it is on the cases of other unjustly and wrongfully detained Americans around the world.
However, Greiner's wife says she hasn't heard anything from the president.
Respectfully, we're over 140 days at this point. That does not work. And so I will not be quiet anymore. They are not moving. They are not doing anything. And so my wife is struggling, and we have to help her.
Greiner was detained in February before the start of the war with Ukraine for allegedly bringing vape cartridges with a CBD oil through Moscow's airport. The charges carry a possible 10-year prison sentence. The U.S. says Greiner is wrongfully detained. Moscow says they are not involved in the case.
As far as any verdicts go, only the court can do it.
The trial began last week, but the odds are not in her favor, with 99% of criminal cases in Russia ending in a conviction. Greiner's next day in court is this Thursday. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
A bit later, honoring those who served.
President Biden awarded the nation's highest military honor to 4 soldiers who risked their lives to save others during the Vietnam War. I'm Deborah Alfarone at the White House with their stories of patriotism and bravery.
Well, of course, a super hot day for us today. 101, the official high. This is our second day this summer that we have hit 100 degrees, but we've had 5 days that were 98 or greater, and we're going to continue to see this as we go through the next few days. So that's why excessive heat warnings continue on the Kansas and the Missouri side. Heat advisories in Oklahoma and also Arkansas, those will re-pop up as we go into the morning hours. But look at our temps, 99 yesterday for a high, 101 for us today. Advertised 90, of course. There's a lot of summers we get above 100 degrees, but we didn't do it once last year. We've already done it twice. Look at our temps, still near 90. Once you get out in southeastern Kansas, everybody else, upper 80s right now, and our humidity is high. Look at our dew points. This measures how much moisture is in the atmosphere in a degree fashion. When it gets in that 70 to 75 range, that's pretty high for the summer months. Puts us in that muggy to soupy range, and that's what we're going to continue to see. So we still have heat indices into the mid 90s at almost 10 o'clock at night. At the airport, 89 south winds, 5 to 10. Humidity is at 55%. We have pretty much clear skies, so nothing's going on here. Nothing's going on across Central Plains. Any thunderstorms, you're going to track out across parts of Nebraska and into Iowa, but this big spot of nothing is where our big dome of high pressure is, which until that breaks down, we're not going to see a lot of changes. All right, let's go through time. Through the overnight hours tonight, 78 to about 80 degrees. As we warm quickly tomorrow, mid-90s by noon, high temp right around 102 degrees tomorrow afternoon. So maybe even a little bit hotter than what we saw today. Day planner or forecast, 78 to start, 97 by noon, high temp of 102. Very slim shot. There could be a pop-up storm during the afternoon. A little better shot maybe for an isolated thunderstorm tomorrow night into Thursday morning. Then we do it again, another carbon copy. Back up, 102, 103 by the time we head into Thursday afternoon. Could get a few scattered thunderstorms in here late Thursday night into Friday morning. Hopefully we do at least see some of those pop up. We do need a little bit of rain. Heat indices pressing 110 tomorrow. Heat indices on Thursday pressing 110 once again. Heat indices pressing 110 again on Friday, but a cold front sneaks in, a few scattered thunderstorms, and then a little bit cooler down into lower 90s, maybe mid 90s by the time we head into Saturday. 102 tomorrow, 103s Thursday, Friday, 93 Saturday, 100 Sunday, 103 again by next Monday, and not that many chances for rain. So overall, we continue to get crunchier on the grass.
Yeah, it's already pretty crunchy and brown, dormant. Thanks, Doug. Even though Benjamin Franklin devoted his life to America, he spent a large part of it in London. Reporter Ian Lee tracked down where he stayed.
Nestled among London's more modern buildings is a bit of American history. On Craven Street stands the home of Benjamin Franklin.
Franklin was here as the agent initially for Pennsylvania.
Marcia Beliciano is the director of Benjamin Franklin House.
He was very much the most famous colonial of his day, so the right person to come and negotiate.
The founding father spent a good part of 16 years on these foundations.
Anyone who was anyone came to this house to pay their respects and talk with Franklin.
Much of the original building that Franklin would have known back in the 1700s remains, from the floorboards and walls to the oak staircase.
Ben Franklin exercised by walking up these exact stairs, and he famously said that walking a mile up and down stairs is equivalent to walking 10 miles on flat ground.
It wasn't how long he did it for, it was that it elevated his pulse. Here at Benjamin Franklin House, we like to say that Franklin should be credited with the Stairmaster.
And brought it to earth. Today, the house is a museum. Laura Rockland is visiting from Boston.
Today it was lovely to hear from the point of view of Polly, his landlady's daughter, what a sort of lovely father figure he was.
The Pennsylvania proprietors.
Grace Gallagher reenacts the landlady's daughter, Polly Baker.
He's quite complex, and as much as there's so much known, there's a lot of mystery and a lot of unknown.
One thing that is known, Franklin liked to take air baths every morning for an hour.
Bathing with no clothes on, with the window open, this window in itself.
A bit scandalous.
A bit scandalous indeed, yeah. I mean, we can definitely see into the houses opposite, so no doubt they could see in here.
And a window into the man that many call the first American.
Coming up, more troubles at the airport.
Air travel is finally getting back to normal across the country after a weekend of cancellations and delays. I'm Charles Watson in Atlanta. I have the latest details coming up.
Having a new car doesn't necessarily mean you'll have less car trouble. J.D. Power reports people had more problems in the first 90 days of having a new vehicle than ever before. The Consumer Insights Group surveyed more than 84,000 people who had bought or leased a model 2022 vehicle. 11% reported more issues than in 2021. That's a big jump. A J.D. Power executive said the highest increase ever seen in 36 years had been 3%. Airlines are picking up the pieces after a chaotic holiday travel weekend that saw thousands of flights canceled or delayed. Reporter Charles Watson has more from Atlanta.
I've never seen anything like it, and I've been traveling for a while.
Not everyone got the 4th of July experience they wanted. Thousands of air travelers were dealing with flightmares over the holiday weekend, with more than 20,000 flights delayed in the U.S. and almost 2,000 canceled. That left folks scrambling to find alternate ways of getting to their destinations, but it wasn't easy. Most reporting other airlines were fully booked or charging thousands of dollars for a single one-way ticket, meaning for some, the best option was to hit the road.
Probably drive and have a good experience and drive down to Florida because the price is too high.
Things were getting back to normal on Tuesday, but there were still more than 1,500 delays reported early in the day. Major airlines blaming a number of factors, including staffing shortages, with ongoing pilot strikes both at home and around the world, making those shortages even worse. On Monday, pilots from Scandinavian Airlines walked off the job, complaining of low pay and hazardous working conditions, prompting the company to declare bankruptcy just 24 hours later.
If people then still don't come to the table, then yeah, at some point you do have to take this decision to go and take it to, unfortunately, an in-court process.
The TSA screened almost 2.5 million air travelers on Friday. The agency saying that's a post-pandemic record. In Atlanta, Charles Watson, Fox News.
We'll be right back. For the 8th year in a row, Chick-fil-A ranks as America's favorite fast food restaurant in a survey of more than 20,000 fast food customers. Sandwich chain Jimmy John's came in second on the American Customer Satisfaction Index. Domino's, KFC tied for third, while McDonald's finished in last place. But overall, the survey finds customers continue to prefer full service over fast food restaurants, and that gap is widening. Today, President Biden awarded 4 men who fought in the Vietnam War the nation's highest honor for military service. The president praised their heroism on the battlefield, now more than 50 years later, saying time has not diminished their bravery. Reporter Deborah Alfarone has more from the White House.
At the White House, President Biden gave the Medal of Honor to 4 Vietnam War-era soldiers who went beyond the call of duty.
Today, we're setting the record straight. We're upgrading the awards of 4 soldiers who perform acts of incredible heroism.
Staff Sergeant Edward Kanashiro's son, John, received the award on his behalf. Kanashiro was shot and killed in battle 4 months after bravely repelling an attack on his unit in 1966.
I know that no award can ever make up for the loss of your father, but I hope today that you take some pride and comfort in knowing his valor is finally receiving the full recognition it has always deserved.
From 1968 through 1972, Specialist 5 Dwight Birdwell, Specialist 5 Dennis Fujii, and Major John Duffy all put themselves in harm's way to repel enemy attacks on their units, rejecting medical treatment for their injuries, while allowing other wounded troops to flee to safety. During the ceremony, President Biden gave a nod to the federal government's efforts to review the service of Asian Americans, Native Americans, and Pacific Islanders, noting the diverse backgrounds of Tuesday's honorees.
For those who give their best for our country, we'll always, always give our best to you.
Since taking office, President Biden has also awarded the Medal of Honor to 4 other service members.
Today's ceremony comes just days after the death of Herschel Woody Williams, who was the last surviving Medal of Honor recipient for his service in World War II. He'll lie in honor in the U.S. Capitol later this week. Coming up, going to check out a special birthday celebration for a World War II veteran in Oklahoma. World War II veteran Clyde Julian Case has shared his birthday with America's birthday for a full century, seeing 18 presidents in his lifetime. Reporter Amy Slanchik took a visit to the big celebration in Tulsa.
Today is a huge celebration of 100 years of life.
Born on the 4th of July, it's time to celebrate Clyde Case.
Typically we would have a 4th of July red with the sparklers and all that, but this is just a wonderful tribute to his 100 years.
For just about 5 of those years, Clyde served in World War II. His daughter Suzanne recalls the war stories he told over the years, how he joined the Army Air Corps in 1941 before Pearl Harbor. He served in England and the Panama Canal Zone, finishing his service in 1945 as a top turret gunner on the B-24.
These are his goggles and his flight helmet and his military hat. Treasures. We will treasure those.
While his past was on display at his birthday party,
Mr. Case, I want to give you this.
family and friends got to make new memories. As Clyde opened cards, reading notes from family and friends, and unwrapped presents.
Look at that.
Home of the brave.
But perhaps the greatest gift
You are a big baby.
was meeting his great-granddaughter, Halston Julian, for the first time.
His youngest great-grandchild.
Mom Melissa and Dad Julian welcomed Halston into the world just 3 weeks ago. Now she'll carry on her great-grandfather's middle name.
It's just amazing that they could have that moment, you know. Those pictures will be something that she doesn't realize, but we'll cherish forever.
Happy birthday! He's going strong, and we're celebrating that.
3 generations together, celebrating the greatest one of all.
And many more.
Happy birthday indeed, and thank you for your service. That is our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a lawnmower race in England. Be safe and let's make it a great tomorrow.